Vroom Vroom Race fans, welcome to the Sunday in the Life of a Motorsports Obsessed Pastor. It's time to get fueled up like I've got Sunoco racing fuel in my veins, because I got to get ready for church. But we got Laguna Seca for IndyCar and Indianapolis for NASCAR. I've got that fit on. We are ready to rock and roll at church, walking on in, get everything turned on. As I'm getting ready, am I thinking about Indianapolis and how Toyotas are on the front few rows of the starting grid? Yes, I am. Did I think a Toyota might win the day? Yes, I did. I guess we'll have to wait and see what happens. Here I am, just grabbing a few things, getting ready for church, making sure the sanctuary is all set up and ready to go. Got to get that bow tie on, rock and roll time. It was a lighter Sunday for sure, but it was a good Sunday nonetheless. It feels like a lot of people are traveling right now, which makes sense. Into the summer, people trying to get those worked in. Before I settle in for some racing action, got to take care of my dog. Make sure he gets on a walk before I get settled into my spot to enjoy some racing action and to watch a crown jewel event at Indianapolis Motor Speedway. What a beautiful venue. I'm so fortunate I got to go to the Indy 500 a few years ago. And I know the Brickyard is not the same event, but the Brickyard just feels big because Indianapolis makes everything feel big and important. As I watched the first commercial break, I realized something, that this is the last week of TNT. I'm really curious to hear what you guys thought of the TNT coverage. I thought it was perfectly fine. Wasn't exceptional like Amazon. Didn't quite have that same energy or style. And I think maybe part of that was just expectations after Amazon. I do really appreciate that they tried to give us green flag action as much as possible with the side-by-sides. And that's Chase Briscoe, who won the first stage, showing a pretty strong car, starting off from the pole. As we got into stage 2, it was time for the Penske's to flip the script and use some strategy and take the lead, as well as time for Laguna Seca. That is just a beautiful track. I mean, the corkscrew is amazing, but looks really, really aesthetic. I'm curious if NASCAR would ever race there. Probably not with Sonoma, but just a beautiful. And oh boy, IndyCar on these first laps, man, it just feels like there's gonna be a wreck. Everyone fighting over some really warranted space on the track. But that was a pretty big hit. Kind of scary to see, honestly. Ryan Blaney here was out front and taking the win in stage 2. Penske doing that strategy thing, y'all. My girl cat decided to join for the activity, catch a little bit of racing action herself. Got the dual screens on. My wife is working on some of her riding. And Denny Hamlin started at last, now up to the front. Really impressive effort by him and his team to really just even be remotely close to the top. But I really think he had a shot at the win. Had some things broken a little bit differently. At this point in the race, it was pretty clear that the final strategies were set, barring a late caution. Joey Logano had the lead, and my guy Bubba Wallace was in second. So I was just kind of biding my time to see what would happen. I mean, Logano is an expert at stretching fuel, but would he be able to in this situation? Well, his tires didn't hold off, so it didn't really work out for him in general. And then came that dreaded caution for rain. Man, I was so nervous for the last 20 laps. That when that happened, my heart just sank. I was like, man, I don't know if he's got enough fuel for overtime or to get restarted after this. And it was pretty clear that Kyle Larson was not going to be able to catch Bubba. He had a pretty big lead at that point. While my nerves were on the fritz, shout out to Alex Blow for closing it out in the final few laps at Laguna Seca, but I just could not watch. I was way too nervous. You can see my wife is consoling me here, trying to hold my hand and comfort me. I was way too nervous for that even, but I really appreciated the effort and the gesture. After that first overtime and restart, I was like, man, I don't think he has enough fuel. So here I am, nervously grabbing my hair. Not supposed to touch my hair because it makes it all oily, but I was just so nervous to see if he could hold it off. It looked like they were going to maybe crash at the back again. Didn't want to see that happen, and there's the moment. Bubba freaking Wallace won the race. You guys, so thrilled, so happy, emotional victory. And I really appreciate you guys joining me on Sunday in the Life for an amazing victory with Bubba Wallace.